You're listening to Daily Sip with Marcel, giving you morning moments of insight, laughter, and a little something to stir the soul.
Yeah. And welcome back to Daily Sip with Marcel. Today is October 28th, 2025. This is where your morning caffeine buzz is guaranteed to be less jarring than today's political topic. Yeah, I am the chief instigator. Yeah, I love to be an instigator. So grab your mug, yes, my friends, because today we're tackling the word that makes half of America clutch their pearls. Yeah, you know, those pearls around your neck. And the other half wave a tiny, slightly tattered flag. I'm talking socialism in the United States. Yeah, let's take a sip for that one. Yeah, perfection. Now, when we talk about socialism, most of us picture either glorious free college or maybe a bread line that stretches to the moon. The reality, as always, is less dramatic and more, let's call it Norwegian. Yeah, you know, the country, Norway. Yeah, that's a socialist country. So compare the United States to that in a way. So what are we even talking about? Socialism at its core is just when the good stuff like hospitals or schools are owned or overly regulated by the collective, usually the government, to make sure everyone benefits. In the U.S., that's the U.S. of A, the debate is mostly about democratic socialism. That's what we see in Scandinavia, not total government takeover, but like in Scandinavia, they overregulate and own part of the schools or the hospitals to provide those services of education and healthcare. Get it? Social democratic countries like Scandinavia use what they call public funding, which is taxes, my friends. Yes, you're taxed so that everybody else has universal access. This is the way that they deliver services when incorporating private providers under strict public regulation. Get it? We'll call that a universal hug. You know. Yeah, it's sort of like the sprinkles on your already delicious collective donut. So socialism says, let's use progressive taxation to redistribute the wealth. In plain English, the rich pay more so everyone can afford the basics. Supporters say this is how to get free college or universal health care. No one goes bankrupt because of a busted appendix. Imagine that. Yeah, safety nets as strong as, let's say, my grandfather's coffee. Yeah, let's talk about the Social Security and Medicare in this country. Those have socialist roots. Yeah, they're designed to catch you when you fall. No one likes falling, right? Especially not with a full mug of coffee. Yeah. So we look for what we call stronger unions that mandated paid leave. Yeah, it's about empowering the employee, right, buddies? Not just the CEO. They want a society where we cooperate, not just compete until we're all haggard shells of our former selves. So you drink a little bit too much coffee, so you have some sleepless nights, right? Well, this will give you a sleepless night. I call this creature Taxzilla. Yeah. To fund all that universal goodness, you need higher taxes. That money has to come from somewhere, and critics argue hitting the high earners and businesses too hard could make them pack up their toys and go home. That means less investment and fewer new ideas, right? Well, that can be true because there is another problem. Because what happens is government becomes inefficient. This is the big one. Critics worry that government-run programs can turn into slow, sluggish bureaucracies. Think waiting in line at the DMV, but for your life-saving medical procedure. It's a genuine concern about lack of private competition and wasted spending. Yeah. And the loss of gotta go, right? You know what I'm talking about. If the gap between the ditch digger and a brilliant inventor shrinks too much, the argument goes, what's the motivation to work harder? Why should I take a big risk? Or why should I be innovative? Critics warn of a reduction of economic incentives. Why sweat it if you get a similar outcome either way? Yeah, I'm not going to do anything extra, or I'm not going to create anything if I'm not going to get anything better in either way, right? Okay, so let's just take a break about that for a second. And this is brought to you by folks who actually do believe in the common good. I'm talking about Afuera Coffee. Yeah. Are you tired of coffee companies that talk a big game but just throw their used grounds into the nearest river? Then you need Afuera Coffee. They are so focused on sustainability, they practically hug every coffee bean they pick. They source exclusively from Rainforest Alliance certified farms. Everything they touch, from the compostable coffee bags to their mailers and even their stickers, breaks down faster than a politician's promise. And here is what I really love. They donate a portion of their sales, not just their mythical profits, to protecting Mother Nature. Afuera Coffee dreams that by simply choosing and brewing their go-to coffee, we can make a substantial difference in the health and cleanliness of our world together. Ready to sip with a conscience? Go to afueracoffee.com and click the link in the show notes for a special offer. Use code SIPPER, that's SIPPER, for 15% off your first order. Drink good, do good. It's the Daily Sip way. All right, so let's get back to the messy stuff. The truth is, folks, most prosperous nations, including the United States, already have a mixed economy. We blend capitalism innovation with socialist-style safety nets like Medicare and public schools. We're already a little bit communist and a little bit cowboy. Did you ever think of it that way? So here's a question I want you to wrestle with as you head into the voting booth and argue with your weird uncle at Thanksgiving. every single policy move has a conscience. If we dramatically increase taxes to pay for vast new programs, will it actually cause a reduction of economic incentives? Will the risk takers stop taking risks? Will the innovators stop innovating? That higher tax bill is the price of the collective safety net. Is that net worth the potential slowdown in our economy? Think about the outcome, my friends. So do your homework. Don't let anyone, myself included, tell you exactly what to think. Just look at the arguments. Look at the math and make your own decision. Now, if you found this eliminating or just mildly confusing, you have a sacred duty. Share this information. Yes, my friends, text this episode to 3 people who you know disagree with you. Let's make this debate informed and slightly less shouty. That's all the time we have today. Thanks for spending part of your day with me. If today's sip gave you something to think about, smile about, or share, pass it on. Be sure to follow the show so we can keep sipping together. Until next time, I'm Marcel. Stay grounded, stay grateful, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you for letting me be part of your day. And until next time, keep noticing what makes life taste a little better. And if you're loving this, don't just sip in silence. Follow us, hit the subscribe button, and pour this into someone else's cup. Share it, spread it. Let's wake the world up together, one daily sip at a time.